Hello everyone and welcome back to Priest Brothers Loins. Today I just wanted to make a real quick technical video for those of you who are really new to wiring and electronics and such. I wanted to show you how I installed these little dwarf signals. These are totally done by a controller. They're not done by a motion sensor or by isolated rail. It's just on a switch. So it's pretty straightforward, but if you've never done anything like this before, this is the video for you. So let's go ahead and see how I do this. So this one has already been installed, and as you can see, it is currently showing red. And then I have a toggle switch over here, which is an on, off, on toggle. So it's currently on red, and then I can switch it off. And I can also switch it to green. And then again to off and to red. Now the reason that I installed these, or this here, is because as people who have been watching my channel for a while know that I do have plans for an extension that will go over here, and basically I'll move my car and then have an extension that'll go around the garage and then link up to another series of tracks over here. So this signal is just kind of for fun, but just to say that that line is not open right now. And then if I ever do get that installed, then when it is there, when it is all hooked up, then the lights will be green. So it's just kind of a fun little addition to add to the layout. So I'm going to show you how I do that. And it's very simple, just understanding the basic electronics behind it. I'll just show you how I set it all up. I do want to show you the toggles here really quick. I just cut a little piece of 1/4-inch plywood, drilled some holes for the toggles, and then just drilled it into the side here. So eventually I do plan on having a skirt of some kind here. So I just have to move the skirt over a little bit and toggle it like that. In all reality, I could probably cut a hole in the skirt too, or just move them through the skirt. It's going to be pretty thin, so I don't see that being a problem. So here is the signal. I bought these on eBay. They were really cheap. I got 10 of them for probably like $5 or $10. And again, it's just the top green and the bottom red, and then it's got 4 wires coming out of it. So the red are the hot wires and the blue are the neutral wires. Now, as far as I can tell, there's really no way to know which wire goes to which light. So you just kind of plug it in and hope for the best. So when you're doing this, you have your power source, right? So you would have a black wire and you would have a red wire coming in, or whatever colors you choose. Now, when you're doing anything like this, if you were to just to wire this up directly as it was, the 2 blue wires would go directly to this black wire, and then the 2 red wires would go to this red wire. Of course, if you do that, both lights would be on and it wouldn't really make much sense. And so that's the point of the toggle. And so here is the toggle that I bought. Again, I bought these on eBay. I got 10 of them for pretty cheap. And if we can read here, if it's not too dark, and if it doesn't focus on my fingers, there is nothing there. Okay, it's on the other side. So on, off, on, 6 amps, 125 volts AC. In reality, this is only going to be getting a few volts. But in the middle there, it's off. And one side is on, off, and then on the other side. And so the way that you wire these up is pretty straightforward. If you're doing this, basically it kind of looks like this. Your neutral, or your ground, or whatever you want to call it, still just goes to the blue. So you would just hook these 2 blues up to your neutral. That stays the same. All right, that makes no difference. You're only controlling the power. The toggle is only controlling the power. So what you would do, first off, note that these signals do come with resistors, which are right here. So they do come with resistors because these lights are only geared for a small amount of voltage, probably only 6 to 9 volts, somewhere around there, maybe even fewer, I don't know for sure. So you do have to attach these resistors, which resist the amount of power, because the line that I'm using is going to be running off of this 1033 controller here, and it does go up to 16 volts. And so if you were to plug these lights into straight 16 volts, it would blow it up and it wouldn't work anymore. So you do have to resist it. And so that's what the resistor is for. Now, when I did these two lights here, so the two there, I plugged both of these into the same power source. So I only needed to use one resistor for both of them, which you can do, which works pretty nicely. So what I would do here is the black wire here would connect to the two blue wires coming from the light. And then I would add the resistor into the line. So we'd go the red line to the resistor to another wire that would attach to the middle. So it would go into the middle, little prong here. So you would just wrap it around there. You could solder it around there, however you want to do it. That would just go to the middle. That's power in right there. And then what you would do is one of your red lines from your light would connect to one of the prongs, and then the other red wire from your light would go to the other prong. And that's really all there is to it. So you would just wire it up like that, and that's it. That's all you really need to do. So again, just to reiterate here, common goes to the two blues, just tie those together, use a wire nut, or whatever you decide to do. You want to solder it, that's fine too. I have really enjoyed using these tools. I'm not sure what you would call them, but they work really nice. I've used these tons of times. I'll usually saw them, so I only get a single one. But it's very, very simple. You put the wire, you push this down, you push the wire in, and then you close it, and it grabs the wire, and it transfers that power across. I find this really useful, especially when you're under the table and you don't want to be like soldering under the table or anything crazy like that. These have been really useful. I've used probably 100 of these on my layout already, and I found that they are very reliable, especially when doing small wires like this. With thicker wires, you're going to be more likely to use wire nuts, but with small wires like this, thin wires like this, I found this to be really, really useful. I got these on Amazon. Here's the package in case you're interested. But they're just called like spring wire connectors, something like that. I don't know, I've bought a ton of these. But basically what I would do is use one, and again, I would cut these just so I can use them individually. So red wire to a resistor to another red wire that would connect to the middle prong, and then that powers the prong here. And then the switch, the toggle there, determines where the power goes. And so then one red wire would connect to one prong, and then the other red wire would connect to the other prong. And then that way you can control each light individually. So if you would like to control signals like this Dwarf signal individually, you can do it just like this. Again, this isn't going to be very useful for if you want to do like prototypical type of signaling. There's other signals out there that have features built in like that. There's a bunch of videos out there that you could watch about that. I don't have anything like that. I do want to have something like that, but not yet. But that's really all there is to it. So I just wanted to make this simple video to where you can wire this all up, to where you can get something that looks like this. So we got both those lights saying, don't go down these tracks, they are dead ends. And then eventually when there is light, or when there is a tracks over there, there we go, they're good to go. So I hope this was an informative video to you guys. Anyone who is new to this, this is something I had to just kind of figure out, but it all makes sense if you just go along with it. If you think this through logically, it all makes sense. The power has to go somewhere, and then it has to return, and all the toggle is doing is acting as a switch, just like the switch in your kitchen or your bedroom or your bathroom or wherever. And that's really all there is to it. So if you guys have any questions about this, please let me know in the comments features down there. I am not a master at electronics or anything, but I've learned quite a bit doing the layout, so that's been really fun. So I'm going to wire up some more of these today on the other side of the layout, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end here. So thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you found this informative. Please like, subscribe, comment. This is Priest Brothers Lines, signing off.